Kwentong Bayani. Kwentong Bayani. Hatid ng Benita at Catalino Ya Foundation at ng RMN Networks. Kwentong Bayani. Kwentong Bayani.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, mga kasama. Unang araw po ng Sabado sa buwan ng Pebrero, taong 2022. At syempre kasama ninyo, ako po ang inyong radyoman sa DZXL, of course, radyoman Jenny Pahilaga. At syempre aking partner mula naman po sa bahagi ng BCYF ay walang iba kundi si partner Jojo Armenta. Partner, magandang umaga ng Sabado ng, Pebrero na.
Yes, Valentine's Month. Good morning po sa ating lahat, sa mga nakikinig at nanonood sa ating live stream ngayong Sabado ng umaga. Good morning po sa ating lahat. Good morning, partner Jenny.
Good morning. Naku, partner, sama mo yung live streaming. Imbitahan na natin sila. Tumutok na ho kayo sa RMN DZXL 558 Manila. Paki-like and share nyo na po yan at sa aming YouTube channel, DZXL 558. Hatid po sa inyo ng DZXL po, ng RMN at ng BCYF ang Kwentong Bayani. At sa umagang ito, partner, pag-uusapan pa rin natin ang...
Yes, ang innovations. Dahil ang BCYF, we're celebrating the Philippine Innovations Month sa February. At that's why, ang buong February natin, partner, we're going to talk about anything under the sun related to innovations.
Yes.
So, I know yung mga nakinig sa atin for the last 2 weeks, marami na silang nakuhang mga inspirasyon sa ating mga guests. Dahil, grabe, mabigatin yung mga guests natin.
At saka ang gagaling partner pagdating talaga sa pagbibigay ng mga payo sa atin, inspirasyon sa atin.
Yes. I know marami silang matututunan. At yung ating mga guests for this morning, mga bigatin din, at I know the people that going to watch and listen are going to be inspired by them.
At hindi natin pakatatagalin pa, partner, introduce na natin ang ating unang guest sa umagang ito ng Sabado.
Yes, so ang ating pong unang panauhin ngayong umaga is a very good friend of mine. 2022 National Skills Development Directorate Committee member of JCI Philippines and the Chief Marketing Strategist of Group L Consultants. Ang ating pong first guest, si Lali Singson. Yeah. Good morning, Lali.
Hi,
Hello, good morning. Good morning, Jojo. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Live via Zoom po yan, Ayan. Good morning po. Okay, so unahin na natin, partner. At welcome po sa Kwentong Bayani, Ma'am Lali. Eto ho, ano ho bang inyong personal na advokasya, dito sa ating ginagawa? At saka paano ho ba kayo naging bahagi ng BCYF?
Okay, so yung personal advocacy ko kasi, nung nag-join ako sa BCYF, it was entirely different. I was concerned about the environment and other things about how people deal with each other, particularly mindfulness. Pero as time went by, it really changed depending on the circumstances of what's, like, for example, my personal circumstances or even with the people around me. So right now, one of my advocacies is mental health, and then we also have education and empowerment.
Okay.
So, yun nga, Daddy, kasi we're talking about innovation for this month. And I know that you're a very active member of JCI, an organization, a worldwide organization. So, what are the innovations dun sa organization nyo that you think are good to share and replicable to other organizations?
Yeah, actually, ever since pandemic happened, maraming innovations yun nandagdag in JCI. We started maximizing technology. Although before pa naman ng pandemic, we've been using technology, particularly different platforms for us to share, for us to create a difference. But right now, like for example, since hindi pa masyadong pwedeng lumabas and we cannot do physical projects, we're maximizing the use of, let's say, Zoom, yung mga ganun technology. But it doesn't stop there. It's not just merely about meetings or trainings, but it is our way to collaborate, not just within chapters in the Philippines, but also internationally. Kasi through that, like for example, if we collaborate with, let's say, Southeast Asian countries or US, or from the US or other continents, mas malaki yung reach kasi, and that's how we can expand what we've been wanting to do, creating leaders in this ever-changing world.
Yeah, right. So follow up ko lang, no, Lali, dahil sa pandemic, no, what are the parang how do the organization, specifically in JCI, coping up with pandemic?
Yeah, actually, for a time, medyo until now, even here in Metro Manila, medyo bawal pa gumawa ng mga physical project, except if it's like really yung mga upland kaagapay, like giving out donations or helping out people during calamities. Pero I can say that our innovation here is basically working around and doing trainings and programs that are related to the UN SDGs, yung mga ganon. So it's we have to be creative on how we're going to execute that, and we have to make sure that we're of course adhering to the standards based on what the UN said about like say SDGs, even with how JCI wants us to implement the different programs, the areas of opportunities, and even JCI Rise. So yung mga ganon.
Yeah, right.
Miss Lali, ano naman po ang impacts, no, or what are the impacts po itong innovations na to, particular po sa inyong mga miyembro ng inyong organization sa JCI?
Yeah, actually, yung mga ganun kasi, it challenges us on how we can be creative enough, or how to innovate through this innovation. How are we going to make use of what we have right now, or even maximize the capacities right now. So yung mga chapters, we especially the members kami, even me in my own chapter, we learn how to adjust. Like for example, if we are advocating, or if we've been creating programs, let's say with the alternative learning system students. So dati we go to their schools on Sundays, ganyan, to help them, to teach them. Pero ngayon, how are we gonna do that? So kailangan ma-shift namin online. Are we going to adjust into a self-paced learning? Then that we can continue that, kasi of course we cannot gather them in one place, and we cannot go there as well. So yung mga ganong bagay, we have to adjust then on how we execute, not just think.
Yeah. I totally agree with that, no? Kasi yung mga organization, actually, kaya it's a good time for Lali to share about that. Kasi maraming organization ngayon, especially this pandemic, they don't really know how to move, how to execute. Kasi nga, very limited, no, yung mga galaw dahil nga may pandemic and the restrictions are there. Ito naman, talking about general innovation, Lali. What do you think are the possible, yung social impact ng innovation, not just in the society, but worldwide?
Yeah. Well, for me, ang impact nun is that it opens up a lot of opportunities for us. Let's say collaboration if you're part of an organization. Kasi na-widen kasi yung horizon mo. So it's not just being in an organization. It's not just about you're helping others, but it can also help you develop to become a better leader, or perhaps your organization is about, let's say, it's a business organization. So through that, you can innovate how you're going to do your business dealings, and at the same time it will even influence how you run your business, and even syempre how you want to work with people. Are you okay na with the current setup, or babalik ka ba sa full traditional that you require everyone to be there? So it really adjusts how we think and helps us find alternatives on how we're going to make things happen, diba?
Follow-up question ko lang, no, dahil nabanggit mo yan. Meron ka bang favorite innovation? Is it, whether it's a product, it's a service that you're always using, or yun, madalas mo siyang ginagamit that you think very useful for you?
I think madami, pero right now I'm trying to appreciate yung mga podcast.
I see, yeah. Bakit?
Kasi before, if you want to hear the opinion of people, you have to listen to the radio. Parang hahabulin mo sila palagi, diba? Parang yung time slot baka mawala, or baka malate ako, di ko na siya marinig or sila marinig. Pero with the podcast, like for example, it gives you an opportunity to listen back. Like for example, even if you're listening live, let's say to the radio, kasi ako, I'm a fan of a certain morning program for many years. So, kasi I'm lucky kapag nagising ako ng ganong oras and I can listen. Pero with the podcast, like kahit 9 p.m. na, I can still listen to their show, yung mga previous shows, and I think it really helps. It helps with the sanity. It even makes you enjoy it further, like extended yung entertainment value nila, kumbaga.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Pero actually, ang radio, no, to partner Jenny, katulad itong ginagawa natin, nag-innovate na ang mga radio stations like at RMN, may live streaming na sa Facebook, may live streaming sa YouTube.
Pwede mo rin i-review.
Diba? Pwede mo nang panoorin yung replay,
Correct.
pwede mo nang pakinggan. That's innovation. And thank you, Lali, for sharing that.
Yun ang in ngayon no? Podcast.
Yun yung in ngayon, trending.
Mga kabataan. Anyway, Miss Lali, ano yung mga iba't ibang pamamaraan ng inyong organisasyon na ginagawa niyo, pagtutulungan ninyo para ma-promote natin o maibahagi natin itong innovation?
Actually, JCI kasi thrives in collaboration. Talaga. Even before the pandemic, lalo na ngayon na nag-pandemic, since hindi na namin kailangan pumunta muna sa isang place to make things happen or to activate a project. Like for example, if we have a sister chapter based somewhere in Visayas or Mindanao, we can activate that project online and really do it. Na unlike before, minsan kasi yung iba may restrictions, like yung mga may mga corporate job, let's say na member, hindi sila basta-basta makaka-execute nun kasi kailangan nila mag-file ng leave, kailangan schedule ng flight. So yung mga ganong bagay, it really helps us like foster our programs and make them happen faster, I guess.
Correct.
And at the same time, create follow-throughs. Yun yung important na nakakagawa na there's a chance for us to enable follow-throughs para mas high impact nga yung gagawin namin.
Part of follow-up ko lang, pinag-uusapan natin yung promotion o pagpo-promote nito para malaman nila. May mga challenges ba tayo? Tsaka paano nyo hinaharap yung mga, kung meron man, Miss Lali, dun sa inyong pagpo-promote ng innovation sa org ninyo?
Challenges, well, connectivity is still a challenge, lalo na dun sa mga affected nung Typhoon Odette.
Correct.
Somehow they're still affected. Like may mga areas pa din doon na nahihirapan mag-internet or very limited lang yung time na kaya nila mag-internet. Tapos I think ang challenge din is I think this is not just about in the organization but also in general yung mga Zoom fatigue. Nahihirapan yung mga tao na kasi imagine pwede silang nasa Zoom or any app parang Zoom na for work, diba? Tapos biglang pagdating ko sa org ko, nakaganito pa din ako. Pero currently this is the best option kaysa magkasakit tayo. So I think nagagawa naman ng paraan yung challenge na yun as long as we schedule things ahead of time. Yeah.
Ito, I want to hear your opinion about this, Lali. Ano sa tingin mo yung support na kailangan natin? Kasi, ito tinatanong din namin sa iba namin mga guests na there are people na parang sinasabi nila hindi daw nararamdaman yung innovation sa Pilipinas, no? Dito sa atin. What do you think are the support that we need para mas lumago or mas maramdaman ng mga Pilipino yung innovation sa bansa?
Yeah. Ang innovation, well, for me kasi, just to define innovation is not just about technology or yung the mga physical, like itong updated na gadgets or connectivity. Pero innovation then is all about how we think. So, if we're going to open up our minds to better learning sources, yun yung importante doon. Better learning sources, then we can innovate better. We can execute innovation better. Kasi, for example, kung ang source mo lang palagi ng information is, let's say, TikTok, magiging ganun, magiging shallow masyado isipan mo, di ba? Lagi ka lang maniniwala sa influencer but you don't believe in credible sources. So, yung mga ganun. So, kailangan sa innovation, we should always make sure that we try to learn try to learn from reputable sources kasi from there that's how we can grow and think better. I think yun naman yung importante doon more than the gadgets.
Correct.
Diba? Ayan. So, yun. May mga partner, payo ba si Ma'am Lali? Yan, yung mga dyan o mga nanonood sa atin, nakikinig sa atin, ang gusto pang maging bahagi din ng ating innovation na to. Paano ba sila magsisimula o paano bang kanilang gagawin, Miss Lali?
Yes. So, for me, you should first before we venture into or before we dive into innovation, first is we have to know our purpose, diba? What do we want to happen? Why do I want to do this? What are even start with what problem do I want to solve? Ano ba yung it can be as simple as basura. Like actually hindi simpleng problema ang basura, pero it's one of those common ones. Or yung mga ganon. First you need to find something that you want to solve. You want to give solutions to. And then from there you can branch out or you can research so that your ideas can branch out. And from there you can invite people, you can work with people, organizations, companies, or anyone na like-minded. And from there, if you have good ideas that are coming in and you put them all together, try to find a way on how you will create the mix and make it happen. I think we're off to a good start to innovate on something, especially when it comes to our advocacies and the things that we want to do generally.
Very well.
Yeah. Ayan. So Lali, baka may gusto ka dyang i-promote, even yung social media accounts nyo for people to follow, yan, pwede mo na siyang i-promote.
Yeah, so for GSA Philippines, you can follow our Facebook and Instagram pages. For my chapter naman, GSA Quezon City Luna. So we are one of the organizations, one of the youngest chapters in Quezon City. So we're proud that we've been doing programs to empower even the people who are deaf, women, and then And we also pioneered the mental health program of JCI Philippines. So I hope that we will give high priority to mental health. I hope that JCI Philippines can also inspire non-members, diba, to take care of their mental health.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Miss Lali.
Thank you, Lali.
Thank you so much, Jojo, for inviting me.
Ayan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Si Miss Lali, and sing-son of the JCI Philippines partner. Ang ganda ng kanya. More na siya, part sa mental din, yung kanyang pagtutok.
Kasi syempre, di ba may time na season na parang ang daming nag-breakdown because of pandemic. Actually, even before pandemic, ang dami nang nade-depress. Ang dami na natin narinig na suicidal cases because of just depression. Actually, it's not just depression. Depression is a serious problem in the society. So I think JCI is doing a good job in promoting mental health awareness.
That's good. Isa pa lang yan sa ating guest ngayong umagang ito, partners, si Miss Lali. Pagkabalik natin, merong isa pa po at napakaganda rin na aming pag-uusapan. Kaya partner, babalik tayo dito pa rin sa programang
Kwentong Bayani.
Kwentong Bayani. Kwentong Bayani. Kasama si Jojo Armenta at Radyoman Jenny Pahilanga sa Kwentong Bayani.
Oras natin sa buong kapuluan, 10:29 in the morning. Mga kasama, inimitahan po namin kayo ha. Tutok lamang sa RMN DZXL 558 Manila. I-like at i-share nyo na po yung aming program Kwentong Bayani at sa YouTube channel DZXL 558. Ang programang ito hatid sa inyo ng RMN at BCYF. Partner, balik tayo.
Yes! Nako, partner Jenny, habang hinihintay natin yung ating second guest. Ano ba yung mga tutunan mo kay Miss Lali?
Nako, yung podcast.
Nakikinig ka ba ng podcast?
Alam mo, hindi ko masyado natututukan. Pero yun ang trending nga ngayon, sabi mo kanina. No? Yun yung innovation ngayon na talagang tututukan lalo na ng mga kabataan. Oo.
Actually, hindi sa podcast kasi hindi mo kailangan na ikaw ay official anchor, no, na professional. Kahit sino pwedeng mag-podcast basta may maisip kang specific topics tas gusto mo siyang i-broadcast. Pwede mong gamitin yung podcast.
Yun ang
para siyang vlog.
Ayun ang innovation ngayon, Iba na.
Oo, para siyang vlog pero walang makikitang voice lang, audio.
Correct. Ang sabi niya, pagka kayo ay may gusto na innovation, always have a purpose, with a purpose. Dapat iyon ang inyong uunahin.
At saka ako yung key takeaway ko kay Lali kanina is yung sinabi niya na, ito pa ulit na sinasabi ng mga guests natin yung nag-start tayo sa innovation, na innovation is not just about technology.
Correct.
Kasi kaya siya nababox at sasabihin ng mga tao na hindi nila nararamdaman. Kasi parang they're expecting na ang innovation naka-surround lang sa pagbuo ng bagong technology, evolution of text.
Invention.
Pero actually, tama yung sinabi niya na it's also about how we think. To create solutions on the different problems or different things that we want to improve. So, yun ang innovation.
Actually, maganda nga yung partner na papaliwanag natin sa programang Kwentong Bayani. Dahil din talagang unang sa isipan ng mga kasama natin, mga nakikinig at nanonood. Pag sinabing innovations, it's more on science, more on inventions, di ba?
Yes. Kaya naman, actually, yung ating second guest, yung panauhin natin na susunod, I think she can explain more, how we can expand our perspective about innovation. So, pakilala ko na ba, partner Jenny? Ang ating second guest.
Inaantay pa natin.
Nandito na si Ma'am.
Sige.
Si Ma'am.
Go ahead, partner.
Sige, pakilala natin ang ating second guest. Our second guest is the General Manager of Wesley Granola Kitchen and Bake Shop, Director 4 at Philippine Textile Research Institute of Department of Science and Technology. Tayo po ay pleasured and honored to have our second guest this morning, Miss Celia Elumba. Good morning po, Ma'am Celia.
Hello, hi, good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me over. Maraming salamat.
Good morning.
Kamusta po kayo, Ma'am?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm good.
Ang ganda naman po ng background nyo. Totoo po ba yan? Totoo po ba yan?
Well, I'm not in the venue. This is a virtual background, but this is ito yung aming tinatawag naming Tela Gallery and Innovation Hub. This is in the Philippine Textile Research Institute's main building sa Bikutan sa aming opisina. So ito ang aming you can call this a multi-purpose space. This is meant to be a collaborative space. No? Ito yung idea namin dito. You can ideate. Kayo ay mga halimbawa, designer ka, micro-entrepreneur, you want micro-enterprise, you want a Kickstarter. Gusto mo magkaroon ng little capsule collection. You can actually have a workstation where you can also collaborate and do design ideas with subject matter experts or other designers within your association. Maaari ka ngayong maglagay ng isang exhibit area, meron kang media launch, meron kang, you can do a lot of stuff in here. You can do little conferences, a small capsule collection fashion show, you can have a window display, etc. So this was meant to be a collaborative hub for people who have an interest to go into anything to do with textiles and of course with that fashion, normally.
Okay.
Wow, yun palang innovation na, partner.
Oo nga.
Diba? Yun
Kinukwento pa
palang
lang.
innovation na.
Okay. So yan, partner.
Sige. So, Ma'am Salia, thank you for being with us this morning. So, we want to know more po yung mga sa inyong department. We want to know more the programs of DOST to help the innovators in terms of the Philippine textile
Yeah. Well,
industry.
first of all, I am with the Philippine Textile Research Institute. It is one of 7 research and development institutes of the Department of Science and Technology. So as you will note, ang focus natin is the creation of technologies. And the goal, nung aming palaging goal, is that ayaw natin yung ating nire-research, the things that we are talking about or studying, come under the purview of libraries. Kailangan siya ay may application. Meron siyang end purpose or end goal. And our main thrust in the last, I would say about the last 8 years, pinaka-focus natin ay tignan natin kung paano natin how we can make more light of our own textiles. Because maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but 90% of what we are all wearing, lahat yan imported. Karamihan imported. So nitong nakaraan na pandemya, hindi pa nakaraan, itong meron tayong pandemya ngayon, mas na-highlight, hindi siguro tayo gaanong nakakabili ng mga hindi normal na makapunta ng department store, right?
Opo.
Ng normal shops mo. But you go online.
Correct.
You still buy. And what you buy is normally, typically, kung hindi man imported yung buong kasuotan na ginagamit mo, yung materyales na ginamit for the making of that. What do I mean? Para makagawa ka ng isang tela, kailangan mo ng hibla. Yung parang sinulid. Yung sinulid na yon, meron niyang pinanggagalingan. May hibla yon. Whether it comes from yung cotton, kilala natin yung cotton, or linen, or wool, or polyester, or nylon, or acrylic. May natural ka, may synthetic ka. Yun yung mga pumapasok sa paggawa ng sinulid or ang material na gagawin mong non-woven. Kasi yung sinulid, pwede mo siyang gawing woven, at pwede mo siyang gawing knit. Parang yung sa t-shirt materials. So yung suot ko, for example, is woven. So I'm telling you this because ang aming tinuunan ng pansin is para maintindihan natin yung ating value chain. Para ang ating mga lalagyan ng points of study, research, pananaliksik, is elements of the value chain para magkaroon tayo ng kabuuan. Kasi kapag mayroong kulang, hindi tayo makabuo ng industriya. Kapag wala kang industriya, hindi mo mararamdaman. And that's the reason why few people know that there is such a thing as a Philippine Textile Research Institute. Kasi hindi mo pa nasusuot yung ginagawa natin eh. So ang aming objective is that we want to dress, sabi ko nga, 110 million Filipinos. Pero ang saya ko kung yung 10% man lang ay madamitan natin. Pero mukhang hindi yun ganun kadali. And I will explain why.
Opo.
Kahit man lang sana yung 1.9 million government employees. Kasi unang-una, meron tayong batas, there's a law. It's RA 9242 that says that Philippine government employees must wear Philippine tropical fabrics. And this is a beautiful piece of law because it means that yung iyong fabric na yan, meron siyang, napakaliit nga 5% na pineapple leaf, 5% na banana or abaca or silk, na i-blend mo yan para makagawa ka ng sinulid. Pero ito yung clincher. it has to be produced in the Philippines, spun in the Philippines, woven in the Philippines, and finished in the Philippines. That's fantastic. That is an enabling law for an industry proposition. Yan ang problema natin. Wala po tayong supply. Kaya po, importante sa aming pagtuunan yung value chain kasi babalik yan sa supply chain. So yun po yung ginagawa natin sa ating ahensya. Ang akin lang pong ibinahagi ay yung particular to what we're able to wear and appreciate immediately. But the conversation of textiles is very wide-ranging. Textiles is really, it encompasses wearables, home furnishings, automotive furnishings, carpeting materials, industrial yung application nun, but you also have medical, yung ating N95, yung N88, yung PPEs. Those are non-wovens that are made of textiles. And so, our immediate goal is we're not focusing on, kasi di ba single-use disposable, not degradable. Itong mga ito. Can you imagine the burden on planet Earth? Kasi nagpa-pile up na siya. These are now billions and billions already. No? You have tons, millions of tons already that is accumulating and they do not degrade. It will take you 100 years, 20, 50, 100 years, and they don't completely degrade. So we have one planet. And so, sorry naman humaba yung aking sagot.
Okay lang po.
Sige, marami kayong
Ang dami namin natutunan.
When I get started, kasi ang haba nun, tuhog-tuhog kasi siya marami siyang sangay-sangay. So pag pumasok tayo ngayon sa non-wovens, ang habol namin, makagawa tayo ng single-use, kahit pa siya disposable, pero degradable, biodegradable. Kasi that is really what nature meant for us to do. Nature is, if you look at the theory of the conservation of forces and what is in nature, constant yun So kapag ina natin yung balance na yan, natural, we will suffer the consequences such as climate change. Right?
Actually,
Yes.
Director as Ilumba, partner, this is the second time na na-meet ko na si ma'am. Kasi nag-guest ko rin siya sa Tinig Klima sa DNR. Si Director.
Matagal na siguro yun.
Kaya nakita ko. But anyway, Director Ilumba, how did po DOST get involved po dito sa pinag-uusapan natin ngayon, sa advokasya po, sa naisin po, adikain ng BCYF?
I was invited by Tony Yap. I think DOST is an active partner of activities or the initiatives of the BCYF. So active partner. So Tony messaged me yesterday.
That's great. That's great. Actually, super blessed nga po ng BCYF to partner with DOST kasi lumalawak yung advocacy ng BCYF. Correct. Because katulad nito, it's a great opportunity for people to know about the Philippine textile industry. Parang partner at saka Director Celia, parang nag-guilty tuloy ako dahil yung mga damit ko, parang kailangan kong tingnan, ito ba imported? Ito ba? Pero I know a lot of my clothes are imported.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that because I think that's one of the key things that we should always develop, criteria. Develop a set of criteria. Obviously, it's one world, right? We're a global community. And the objective of globalization was you go to the place or you procure from a place where it was cheapest because they excelled in it. But what happened in the recent pandemic, nagsara ang mga borders because they themselves were in need of certain things.
Correct.
Dito lumabas yung how resilient are you really? I mean, how dependent we are on certain things coming from certain places. So this to me is a self-defense posture more than a self-reliance posture. It's a self-defense posture. We have to keep ourselves. So this is kaya makikita na yung bagong trends, hyper-localism. Instead of globalization, global na tayo, but at the same time, there is hyper-localism. Anyway, makita ko sa Pinayan. So
ma'am, sa tingin nyo, kasi since we're talking about innovations, what do you think are the possible social impact of innovation, specifically in the industry of Philippine textile?
Humongous. We have an advocacy that we term TELA Pilipinas. TELA is an acronym that means Textiles Empowering Lives Anew. Kaya siya anew kasi we had a very robust textile industry back in before the 50s, no? The 60s, the 50s. We had a very robust textile industry. Iloilo was called the textile center or capital of the Philippines in the 18th century. At that time, they were already importing or rather exporting to Manila. And from Manila, of course, it was going elsewhere. But it was pretty significant. So we had them. And the means was, ito yung aming Hansel and Gretel protocol. Meaning, we were looking for crumbs in the forest. I say this because technically we do not have an industry to speak of because we only have a handful of scaled or commercial scale textile manufacturers in the Philippines. The question in my mind, in our heads, were what did we have before? How did we propagate our own textiles? Because we were dressed. Imagine that you have 60 million people. How do you dress them when there were no imports? When there was synthetic. Let me just quiet my guy here.
Sige mo. Sure.
Okay. So yun, alam mo, partner, ano, marami tayong natutunan kasi ito yung mga damit na sinusuot natin, di ba? May innovations eh. So, mahalaga yun na malaman natin from the DOST, kay kay Ma'am Sel, di ba?
At saka kasi I know nga na they're trying to really advocate promoting the Philippine textile. Pero ang nangyayari kasi, na-overpower pa din ng mga imported.
Oh, imported.
Of course,
Yeah.
but so if I may
Go ahead,
just
ma'am.
continue that. So yung ating tinignan, what did we have in the past? And if we have a lot of handloom weavers in certain locations, what are they using? What did they use? And if they don't have it now, halimbawa, nung araw, marami daw cotton, maraming yung pinya. Iba ang sistema nun, ha? I don't want to confuse you guys. But if you're talking about abaca, for example, meron pa ba siya? Kung wala na siya, pwede pa ba siyang magkaroon ulit? So those were the questions.
Okay.
And so our main objective, when you speak about ano yung maitutulong nito sa socio-economic fiber or fabric of our country, at the end of the day, our goal was to increase the value in the local places where the raw materials exist. That's not a model that you see in many places because our model is commercial. You want to have a scale kasi yun naman talagang economies di ba? For something to be cheap enough, you have to have big enough production so that you can spread the costs over more production units. In this particular conversation, we noted that there's really not an established supply chain. If you do not have an established supply chain, then why don't we start small? In fact, why don't we start micro? And so we decided to start what we call the Regional Yarn Production and Innovation Centers. Ang objective nito, makagamit ka nung what is local. This is now the Tela Pilipinas model. Local, halimbawa sa Iloilo, we found that they have cotton. Unang-una, yung Hansel and Gretel nito, napakaraming weavers sa Iloilo. To this day, they have a lot of weavers. And then we found out they have cotton. And so we then realized, teka muna, marami daw sila sa immediate, hindi man siya galing sa Iloilo, sa mga karatig in the neighboring provinces, they have a lot of abaca, they have a lot of pineapple leaf, they have other raw materials that can be used. Pero what is keeping them? No one is able to make the yarns. Walang nakakaspin ng yarn. So meron kang raw material, meron kang pwedeng mag-weave, pero wala ka ng processor. Dito pumapasok ang technology at saka yung innovation. The innovation in itself was the inclusivity. We brought it out to the regions. We made it micro versus big scale because susunod na lang yon kapag nakita na meron talaga tayong nakikita na push and pull market forces That will have to happen. The scaling up as you decide and determine that there is a lot of demand. The supply will have to follow kasi literally we have to pull the supply from the ground. Nakatanim pa sa lupa o itinatapon lamang na hindi siya na-develop. So when you now look at that, can you imagine that you will have your local farming community directly involved in the process kasi nandun yung spinning facility. And you will have technologists, technicians, You can even have in partnership with, and this is our model, we always partner with an SUC, a local academic community, so that they can then help with the human resource development or component. Sila yung magte-train ng technologists, technicians, engineers that can then go into the study and the improvement and the reverse engineering of whatever is already going on.
Right.
That's good.
May curious question lang ako, no? Kasi since you're in the Philippine Textile Research Institute, kasi po, kaya din minsan nagiging problem na hindi siya kinakagat ng mga tao. Kasi parang yung usual na nakikita na locally made na damit ay hindi fashionable enough for people to buy. So what can you say about that? Like, how can we change the perspective of people na meron po bang mga designers o kaya sa research institute na talagang nasa uso yung designs?
Okay. So first, we generate the technology. We actually are partnered with a number of organizations who are the ones who develop and use them into product. We have ideas on product. We share our ideas on product. We work with handloom weavers. If you're interested, just check out, for example, Creative Definitions. Check out Bio. Bio just started. They haven't really been using this fully, but if you take a look at the exhibition that we have in the institute, meron na kaming mga designs that were made by members of the Philippine Fashion Coalition. Philippine Fashion Coalition is made up of a group of many creatives, not just in the fashion industry, but in other sectors of the creative economy. So we have a number of designers already. We had worked with a good number of them. If you look at Maison Métis, sorry sinasabi ko yung pangalan nila.
Okay lang po.
Métis, they use materials coming from the institute. Check out Panublix. Panublix is selling yarns and they're selling weaves of the communities around Iloilo, Western Visayas, and also Abra. Marami na sila. Woven is also doing this. No, Woven naman is in home furnishings. Hamlu used, for example, our enzymatically treated 80% cotton, 20% pineapple leaf fabric. Dakat sustainable footwear is a 100% tela, 100% Pilipinas. It's a sneaker that is made of a cotton and a pineapple leaf. I'm excited because hindi pa siguro kalat or widespread, no? I'm excited because we have a number of young social enterprises. They're really young people who are bringing this conversation to the forefront. And this was, I don't think this was really available before. We had a lot of champions and advocates, pero to see young people doing this as an enterprise is quite refreshing. And so there is hope, therefore, for the sector. So I guess it's just a question of everybody getting linked together. It is available. Hindi pa lang siguro sila fully mainstream kasi it's a question of scale. Kung hindi nga tayo makaproduce ng maraming sinulid, hindi ka makagawa ng maraming tela, paano tayo makakagawa ng ganong kasing dami ng nagagawa ng ibang bansa na commercial na ang kanyang production ability? That's not at scale yet. So we are in the development process. And so for us, we consider this as the big D. This is not the small research and development. This is the big D because you're starting from the ground up.
Okay, siguro po, partner, hinga na lang natin ang advice sa ating mga nakikinig at nanonood ngayon, si Ma'am, sa Director Celia, dun sa mga gustong maging inventors dyan but would want to innovate. Paano po sila magsisimula? A piece of advice po, Director Celia?
First of all, I would like to encourage everyone to be more conscious about what we consume. And I mentioned kanina, set up a set of criteria. Saan siya ginawa? Sinong gumawa? Ano siya gawa? I always say to myself, if I see something is made of viscose is rayon, I mean, there's already a good process to this. But if you don't know the process, nakita mo lamang siya ay viscose, I would suggest that you reconsider. It's a beautiful material, but you reconsider because it's very environmentally unsound. Yung kanyang ginagamit na chemicals, tinatapon siya, hindi siya nare-reuse. Meron na ngayong bagong iteration siya. It is the closed loop system. So if you see lyocell, modal, tencel, yan, pwede mong pagtuunan kasi regenerative ang ginamit niya using sustainable forest products and it's closed loop. So I will look at that. I will consider more naturals versus synthetic because synthetic, microfiber, microplastic. By 2050, a study says mas marami ng microplastic sa karagatan kaysa sa isda.
Okay.
So you consider these things. In other words, mas laliman natin, and I always say this, let's go beyond or deeper into the surface. Now, if you want to really, truly, really start and support everything, be a consumer, be a conscious consumer. Try and wear something or use something that is made in the Philippines by Filipinos in the country, in the Philippines, no? Okay din gawa sa ibang bansa na Pilipino. Ngunit kasi yung gawa sa bansa natin, ibig sabihin ang materialis mo galing sa bansa natin. So make use of something that is made in the Philippines, whatever that may be, big or small. And if you are looking to do this as an enterprise, connect with other people who are this. Like I said, we have a collaborative space. Of course, the conditions are that we must have pre-arrangements because of our, health and safety protocols. We are still very strict with that. But certainly there are avenues. But you must be very firm and very tenacious because every good thing takes time and energy and effort.
Yes, very well said.
Yes.
Director Celia, maraming salamat po. And have a nice day
Maraming
po.
salamat sa
Thank
inyong
you.
lahat. And thank you very much.
Good morning po.
Thank you so much
God
po.
bless.
Ayan,
God bless
partner, si Director Celia Ilumba ng Philippine Textile Research Institute, DOST. Partner, ano naman ang abangan natin next Saturday para sa ating programa bago tayo magtapos?
Yes, so tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ating pag-i-invite sa mga resource person to talk about innovation in different sectors. So abangan niyo po yan dahil po this month nga, BCYF po, we are celebrating the Philippine Innovation Month. So ang deadline po ng pagpasa ng nominees for the BCYF Innovation Awards is on February 14, Valentine's Day.
Yes, next week.
So sana po hindi niyo makalimutan yan dahil isang importanteng araw para sa lahat. So,
Correct.
yan po ang deadline ng ating pasahan ng nomination for BCYF Innovation Award. And the ceremony will be on February 25. So, abangan nyo po yan.
Oy, people power yun, di ba? And visit nila, bisitahin niyo po yung BCYF official Facebook page, partner.
Yes, so tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ang pag-updates sa ating mga social media accounts. Kung gusto niyo pong malaman yung mga ongoing events or activities or any updates about BCYF, punta po kayo sa Facebook page, BCY Foundation. And may website din po, bcyfoundation.org. So pwede niyo pong makita doon lahat ng details, especially sa awards na inaabangan natin for this month.
Yan, abangan niyo po yan at bisitahin na ang kanilang official Facebook page. Partner, maraming salamat. It's time to say bye-bye. Go ahead.
Yes, maraming salamat po sa ating mga panauhin. Si Lali, si Director Celia. We learned a lot and we got inspired by their sharing and insights. So maraming salamat po. In behalf of PCYF, thank you for all the viewers and all the listeners na patuloy na sumusuporta sa aming programa every Saturday. Ako po si Jojo Armenta.
At mula naman po sa RMN DZXL 558 Manila, ako naman po si Radyo Jenny Pahilanga. Maraming salamat hanggang sa susunod na Sabado. Dito lamang po sa programang
Kwentong Bayani.